Spencer, your thoughts after the FA Cup exit this afternoon?
Well beaten, thoroughly second best through the game. I'll definitely take responsibility for the starting lineup. Got it wrong. Lucky to be in the game first 20-25 minutes. Everybody knows the position we've got here as far as injuries, suspensions, unavailability. We put out the best team we thought we could. I've had to bring players in that we haven't seen before. We are the walking wounded, suspended, people unavailabilities, but no excuses. We were by far the second best team for the first 30 minutes. Made the double change, scored a great equaliser, and the last 10 minutes of the half I thought we were all over them, and amazingly I thought we possibly could have been ahead at half time. Second half we get a gift of a goal to put us ahead, and I thought we looked really comfortable. And we've got to look at the facts. We didn't deserve to win the game. Salisbury were the better team, and they created a lot more chances than us. But we looked comfortable. We gave away two very soft goals, free header and a shot which shouldn't go in. And we've created very little. Yeah, you can look. I've got 5 strikers on the pitch because I just don't have the players at the moment. I've Jack Saville. We've lost him at half time to head injury again. He wanted to play, but he just couldn't. So I've got right backs playing at centre halves. I've got centre forwards playing in centre mid. I've got Jamie Curtin playing in centre mid purely because that's all I've got left. I don't want to take anything away from Salisbury, who deserved to win the game. I'm very disappointed. I thought at 2-1 up we were going to get through, undeservedly probably, although there wasn't much in the second half. But once they got the equaliser, it was almost inevitable that they would win the game. We wish them the best. They looked a very good side. They were first to everything. We probably had a couple of players on that possibly shouldn't have been, but it is where we are with this ridiculous list of injuries and unavailabilities and silly suspensions. So we keep saying it's going to turn, and I've just warned them that injuries aside and suspensions, it wasn't good enough. It was tough on the 2 lads I took off on sort of 25-30 minutes, but they weren't getting to first and second balls, and they were lots of the lads I could have taken off. And as I said, I think it got us right back into the game, but we didn't do enough. And it's another FA Cup nightmare really for us. It's so frustrating because I look at the squad as a whole and think what a strong squad, but I'm only getting half of it out at the moment. The centre-back position is just an absolute nightmare, and we desperately need this week off, that's for sure. Just to try and get a few people fitter.
That's 5 straight defeats now. Is that worrying for you? And how do you pick your side up?
Of course it's worrying. But today's the first day that we've been well beaten. In every other game, to be fair, I think we could have won all the previous 4 games in very small margins. Can't use that today. Can't use that today. Well beaten today. No excuses at all today. So got the starting team wrong. And all things aside, with the injuries and everything we have, you've still got to work harder than that. And Salisbury were better all around the park. Not taking anything away from them. I thought they were superb today, and we wish them all the best for the rest of the season. I think they'll do very, very well. You look at the facts and you see how many people I've had out. Saville, CJ Fern, Keith wasn't here today, he was away. Josh Huggins is suspended, Kieran Forbes, Connor Calcutt clearly isn't fit. He keeps saying he is. To say we're the walking wounded is an understatement. We've got a very good squad, but we need to bounce back quickly. We need to halt this. We were desperately looking forward to today's game, but that's come and that's gone now. And we've got a week before we go to a very difficult place, Kings Langley, and somehow we've got to try and get a few of these players fit, or we've got to try and make more changes. And it's very difficult because obviously we're way over on budget. This has had a financial hit on us, and it was always going to be a very difficult tie today. Salisbury, we knew that they'd be very unfortunate not to be in the Southern Premier, so it was a difficult tie anyway, but it was nice to be at home. But we didn't deserve to get through, so somehow we've got to try and pick the players up. And they know a lot of them that aren't injured are not doing enough. I think some of them are, I won't say coasting, but they're sort of living on last year's memories. And they need to be better. But centre half is such a key position at the moment, and to have 4 centre halves out, and to just really be left with young Aidan. And I brought in a lad today took a chance. You know, he was a 2-year pro at Burnley until April, and he's done all right. But you know, the reality is we ended up him and James Hammond are playing. He's a right back playing as centre half, and Jack Barton in midfield playing right back, and you know, centre forwards, which I seem to have a lot of fit centre forwards at the moment, semi fit, and no midfielders because Forbes is injured and Barton's back there, and you know, it's tough to take. And as I said, in the previous 4 games, I've stood up, and I rightly believe things have gone against us in small margins, and generally we've done very, very well. Can't say that today. You know, starting from me all the way down. Not good enough today. Thoroughly well beaten. Another FA Cup disaster. It's been doing me in more than anybody else, I can assure you. It really hurts. I desperately need to get some of my first choice players fit. That's as simple as it gets, you know, and not suspended and not away. I don't want to go into it, but I got more away next weekend. It's ridiculous. Very, very tough to take.
We've got a week now before we go back on the road at Kings Langley. How much do you know about them?
Very little. Again, clearly we don't have the funds to scout teams. I'll do my best as usual to try and find out what I can. And you know, we know it'll be a very tough game. Not the greatest of pitches, with all due respect to them. But it's, you know, I'd like to say we'd like to play as soon as possible, but we can't at the moment. We are, you know, we keep talking about it, and people say making excuses, but I'm sorry, we're not. You know, we need Jack Saville fit, we need CJ Fern, we need Josh Huggins, we need Keith Emerson, we need Kieran Forbes. I mean, look, this is a team I'm talking about. You know, I'm talking about a group of, you know, Connor Cowcott fit, properly fit. You know, I'm talking about a whole first team almost. You know, we still got to deal with it, the John and Inga situation, what happened there. You know, and then we're making others work almost doubly as hard, because you know we've lost our shape and the positive thing we had in pre-season. Obviously, we've got to play pre-season friendlies. You know, yes, the Molesey game was a disaster. We've always played, you know, 5-6 days before the season starts. We've got to be sharp. But it turned into an absolute disaster, and we're certainly reaping the pain for that. And we've got to get on with it. And I've said, fellas, we've got a month to really start to pull this around. I believe once we get the players back, we will be absolutely fine. And a lot of people said that we wanted a mid-table season, but that's not what I wanted. You know, we've got a good group of players here, a very good group, and today's the first time that we've really been, with everything considered, you know, I still think we should have been a lot better than we were.
Congratulations today, Spencer.
Thanks, Dom. Cheers.